This rock was given to Willem Drees, a former Dutch leader, during a global tour by Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Edwin Buzz Aldrin. Following their moon mission 50 years ago, J. William Middendorf, former American ambassador to the Netherlands, made the presentation to Mr. Drees, and the rock was then donated to the Rijksmuseum, like in the Netherlands, after his death in 1988. So, Apollo astronauts going on world tour, just handing moon rocks out like they're candy, just giving all the world leaders, here's a moon rock, you get a moon rock, you get a moon rock. But let's check out this clip if you could, because there's some interesting things about it that have come out in the news, in the mainstream media news even.
Good morning, I'm Steve Inskeep. A prized possession in the Dutch National Museum is not what the curators thought. Back in 1969, the Apollo 11 astronauts visited the Netherlands, and the U.S. ambassador gave the Dutch Prime Minister what he said was a moon rock. No doubt it gave a warm feeling to the U.S. ally. But when an expert saw it in the National Museum, he said he wasn't so sure it was real. Geologists have now identified the moon rock as petrified wood. It's Morning Edition.
The moon rocks were first exposed as frauds by them in the Netherlands. Now, the Apollo astronauts went around in the big publicity tour at the time, back in the 60s, giving various people in positions of royalty and whatnot, leadership, moon rocks. Well, they decided at one point they wanted to take an insurance policy out on it. So, of course, as part of doing the insurance policy thing, they start analyzing it, and they found out the thing's petrified wood.
After looking into this myself, I have to say that I find it funny how, according to the NBC News report on the matter, Van Gelder, one of the leading men in the investigation, said, "No one thought to doubt that it was a moon rock, since it came from the Prime Minister's collection," which is really odd since it looks so much different from every image that we have that was supposedly taken from the moon. The plaque reads, "With the compliments of the Ambassador of the United States of America." And just looking at it, we can see a very clear implied message saying, "Please accept this as a token or sign to let you know that we faked the whole thing."
Now, I'm at this venue, the Milky Way, and I find out that this museum is literally like a couple of blocks down the road. So I'm going to go there. So Sheila and I went there, and we get to the information desk, and they weren't even aware that they had the thing. I'm like, this is supposed to be one of the most significant achievements of all of humanity. You would think you'd have that center display with, like a halo right over it, and the angels floating over it, pointing at it. Like, look at what we did, No, they had it tucked away in a warehouse somewhere, like in Indiana Jones, They said that. It's tucked away in a warehouse. You have to get special appointment and blah, blah, blah. She had to actually look it up. They had it. But I just thought it was rather poetic that here I'm, the whole series of events that led me there, what I was talking about, and that was right down the street. They exposed it as a fraud. And just so happened, if you go look it up, that Wernher von Braun and company were down in Antarctica in the late 1960s, prior to us allegedly going there in 69, looking for moon rocks. You can look that up for yourself.
New World Encyclopedia. Von Braun travels to Antarctica looking for meteorites, which were believed to have come from the moon.
Going to Antarctica looking for moon rocks. So first of all, at that point, we hadn't even been there yet. So how do you know if you find a rock that it's from the moon? It's not like you go, oh, made on the moon. Cool. All right, let's categorize that one. Oh, this one's made on Mars. Put that one over here. There's no way you're going to know that. And we're allegedly in a space race against the Russians. Right? We got to beat the Russians. They're going, Sputnik. Right? So if we're in this big space race against the Russians, and we got to get to space and get up there, and Gary or whatever is floating around up there, oh, we got to walk in space. Why are you down on a vacation in Antarctica? Very suspicious.
As I'm sure you might have read in the newspapers recently, a moon rock that was on display in a Dutch museum, which you, Neil, and Mike had given to the then ambassador to the Netherlands at the time. It turned out to be a piece of petrified wood. I was wondering, at the time, when you were in possession of this, were you aware that this was petrified wood, or were you also led to believe that it was a genuine moon rock?
Petrified wood? Wow, that doesn't sound like it came from the moon. The responsibility of the United States, and it certainly isn't the responsibility of the crew that gave it to them. And whether that got changed substituted for something that then became valuable to someone else, and they substituted a piece of petrified wood. That would be my more probable explanation for this. Now, who did that? We have no idea.
It's not our fault. The government must have did it.
Definitely not the fault of the crew that gave it to them.
Right.
That's awesome.
Surprised it wasn't fossilized, dinosaur poop or something.
Yeah.
that it was actually petrified wood instead of something sillier. But yeah, might as well be anything but a moon rock.